Miami. I'm Aisha Sharif, and today we have the wonderful opportunity of interviewing both Chloe Toman and Dr. Ron Becker. Now, our first question, why did you choose Miami?
Why I chose Miami was not only because of its beautiful campus, but coming here in the television studio and seeing of all the great opportunities it would provide for me as a mass communication student. I'm really interested in television, and then we also have a radio station here as well. Just all the opportunities that it provided for me, and being here and realizing the wonderful faculty and staff has really shaped my career here, and as well as the student body. They're really amazing, and just to be able to meet so many great, unique individuals has truly been a pleasure.
It's great to hear. And what about you, Dr. Becker?
Yeah, when I was applying for jobs, in academia, you kind of go wherever the jobs are. The year that I was on the market, I had a couple of offers, and I chose Miami because I think it suited the kind of college I wanted to work at most. It sort of values research, but it also doesn't require so much research that faculty have to ignore students. I enjoy teaching undergraduates in particular rather than grad students, and Miami is and the media program here is a great place to connect with undergrads.
Perfect. What drew you to the media field?
What drew me to the media field, and specifically the mass communication department here, was that I was able to really dip my foot into learning how to write for print, for television, and for radio. So having that experience of those three department areas in media has really helped me and has really shaped me holistically, I feel. So I'm not really specific as to just working in television, just working in radio. I really wanted that whole background, and for me that has been very fulfilling.
Yeah, I didn't come to study media until after I was in graduate school. I was an English undergraduate, studied literature and poetry, and then I got a master's degree in Scandinavian languages and literature. But when I was living in Sweden one year, ostensibly doing research on Swedish modernist poetry, my interest in poetry began to wane. And while I was living there, I was fascinated by the ways American popular culture, television and films in particular, sort of circulated and were received in Sweden. And living in Sweden and looking at the culture that I had consumed all through my life from the sort of different lens of being a foreigner made me think, I wonder if I could study popular culture in the way that I had studied poetry and novels. So when I came back to the United States, I explored the options and discovered there was a field of media and cultural studies, and sort of did that, right? Began to study media, how it's produced, how it's consumed by viewers, in the same kind of, using the same or many of the same tools that I learned as an undergrad in English.
What's your favorite aspect?
My favorite aspect of Miami?
Or of media?
Or of media? Well, television takes my heart. Like I said, I've tried newspaper for a little bit, and I'm involved in radio here, but for television, for me, it's just a powerful medium that I've just grown to love. And through my senior capstone here, producing a newscast and having that ability through my internships to report for news, and having the experience as an anchor, I've really learned to love it and to see its effect.
And my favorite part about media and teaching and studying media, especially with students, is it's so easy to get them excited about it. I don't have to convince them that what we're studying is relevant to their lives. So they often are very enthusiastic about the topic to begin with, and then I get to translate that enthusiasm to get them to think about it differently, to open up their eyes about something that they experience every day and to look at it in new ways. So I think that's my favorite part.
What's the best advice that you can give to upcoming or seniors now that want to go into media?
Well, what I would say from my personal experience is it's never too early to get experience. Start building that resume. It starts right when you start college, and the more experience you have, the better an employer or future employer is going to want to bring you on their team and see your potential. Obviously, grades are extremely important too, but if you don't have the experience to back that up and to make the most out of your degree, then And that would be my advice.
And the advice I would give a student studying media would be the same as I would give them studying anything at Miami, which is take ownership for your experience at Miami and your work in courses. I think like Chloe said, you have to sort of seek out experiences like internships or extracurricular clubs that are going to give you the experience you need. You have to take ownership for doing well in your classes and succeeding. You have to take ownership for figuring out what classes to take, and certainly faculty and other people here at Miami or wherever you end up going are going to be there to help you, but they're not going to be taking your hand and leading you around, or at least the most successful students are going to be the ones who are proactive and sort of responsible for the path that they choose through college.
I would agree with that. You really have to be self-motivated, and you really have to take the initiative and be ambitious, because there's only so much that your professors can help you with, and they're going to want to help you if you want to help yourself. So,
As just like a final note, what kind of adds the sprinkles to the cupcake as far as attending Miami?
that question. The sprinkles to the cupcake. Wow. Do you want to start with that?
Well, I think a lot of, I think one thing that for me as a professor would be students who connect with, who make the effort to connect with a faculty member, whether it's to do an independent research project or volunteer as an undergraduate assistant. From my perspective, I at least hope that gives students a sort of unique experience that goes above and beyond the norm. I'm sure from students' experience, there's so much that goes on campus that goes right over my head as a professor.
I would completely agree with that. Knowing your professors is essential, and even if you go to 1 or 2 office hours, it makes all the difference, because they don't know if you're struggling, or they don't know what you like, or maybe you're struggling or having troubles with in their class if you don't communicate that with them. And just getting to know your professors and asking their advice. They've had so much experience, especially talking about Dr. Becker's experience in Sweden. I mean, they have so much that they can offer you, and to kind of grab onto those words of wisdom and use that to kind of fuel your future career, I think could only be beneficial in the end.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
And we're now going to go on to our break. We'll be right back after the break. Thank you.